Good morning. My name is Amos Tarfa, and in this video, I want to address some things for homeschool families and homeschool students in helping them with getting some structure and discipline, especially for those in the 7th to 12th grade range. These are skills that will be very helpful, especially when a person goes on to a traditional college setting, which, again, by God's grace, we are hoping to offer that as an option in the near future to give students those first 2 years locally in the Twin Ports and online. But before, this video is not about the vision for our college. It's really about helping students grow in discipline. So let me explain what I mean. When a homeschool student gets up for the day and they know that there are certain things they need to accomplish, it's very nice if they have a plan of action, a timed plan of action for each subject. So I want to talk about a few of those things. The first thing I want to encourage people who are homeschooled, and I teach a homeschool co-op on Mondays and then some Fridays as well, and I encourage my students to do these things, and I just want to now encourage other people who are using the homeschool approach. The first thing is that I want to encourage people, no matter what you're doing with your life, it is never a bad thing to get up early. It's a very good thing to do that. And so I know people tell me, oh, I get up at 9 or 6 or whatever, but just having that consistency of getting up early is good. And so if I was a homeschooler who was 16 years old, then hopefully I'm up no later than 6 o'clock. That's my recommendation. Well, in order to get up at 6 o'clock, it means that I would have had to be sleeping by probably 9 or 10 o'clock the night before. So notice that in order to be successful in life, sometimes the work starts the day before or the night before. A quick note on that is that when you get ready the night before, you can get up the following day with what you need, and then you can excel. So they go to bed the night before in good time, so they get up around 6 in good time, so they can get ready for the day, get some time, maybe get some chapters of the Bible in to digest those, get ready as you can be, because you don't know what all of the day is going to be. Then you turn your attention to school. After you've done your breakfast, you've studied the word, you get to after breakfast, let's say it's 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock, I sit down. I take out my English. Now, it doesn't have to be in this order, but I just want to give a recommendation. So I do my English. Might be reading a book, might be writing a paper. I recommend, if your parents give you permission to have a laptop computer that you can use for school, that you have it ready. And as you read whatever book you're reading, you take notes on the things you're learning. What am I learning from this story? What is the character teaching about this or that or the other? So it's very important that you make time to basically write down what you're learning from the book you're reading. That's number one. Number two, take time then when you move to mathematics. An hour minimum is healthy for each of these subjects, by the way, at least for the 4 core subjects. But if you finish reading your book, you finish writing a summary of what you're learning, which is like a book report in action, then you focus on your math. About an hour of math. Whatever curriculum you're using, you take that curriculum, you look at the problems, you watch videos if you need to, you write out examples, but you give your best in your math, just as you did in your English. Then you move to science or history, whichever one. Again, the order is not what matters as much as the time. Am I putting in an hour of each of these subjects? So then my school day is a minimum of 4 hours, consistently. The electives and so on are extra. But I go on to my science. I read and I do what's expected. I take notes of the vocabulary. Write down what you're learning. What is photosynthesis? What does that mean? Write it down as if you're going to have an exam on that tomorrow. Number 4, I go on to my history. As I'm reading my history book or my government or my econ, I have a notebook, right? I have a notebook designated for each of the subjects. I write down lessons from what I'm learning in history as if I'm going to be sharing to my colleagues. Whether you're part of a co-op or you're going to be sharing with your siblings, be ready. Read the history with the plans to share what you're learning. Then you move on to number 5, which I recommend for high school students. As a matter of fact, I recommend this for 8th graders and above. ACT prep. Spend some time. Learn how the ACT or the SAT exams are structured. Why? Because someday you might have to take it if you're going to a traditional college. And if they're going to require that of you someday, you probably should be learning how to do it well now. So, we have English. We have it about an hour. We're reading a book. We're writing a paper. We have math. We're doing some diligent work and studying and reading and watching videos. And if you have questions, feel free to send us emails. I'm working to have more opportunities for all homeschoolers to either call in through video conferencing or just send your questions through email, and we can help as much as we can. And then you move on to your science. You work through those problems. Make sure you read and understand what you're reading. If not, feel free to send us questions too. And then you get to your history. Read it with a plan to share with somebody. Hey, by the way, I learned this in history today. It was fascinating. Did you know that happened? Let's discuss that. Those are good conversations for young people to be having, not just talking about their favorite sports teams and so on and so forth. They need to be talking about good things they've learned from their history lessons. And then, of course, we want you to do, not just learn. Do, implement, apply what you're learning. Again, the ACT is very important. I encourage that. Some of you might do the language option, which is Spanish or German or French. Take time, learn it well, use the tools that are available to you. And then finally, there might be other electives that some people take, maybe CLEP psychology or CLEP sociology. Those are also things that we are beginning to help students with more and more. But I just want to encourage homeschoolers to take out the time to be disciplined, to be diligent, and to apply themselves to the work that they're doing, and to do it for the glory of God, rather than just doing it because it's an easier option, you think. No, use that opportunity. Not every country has this luxury of being homeschooled. You have that luxury, make the most of it. If you have any questions, please let me know. My name is Amos Tarfa, and my email is amostarfa1@gmail.com. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.